I missed the more colorful part for you, but oh well, there it is. Waiting for that to finish coming in. I don't know how long I've been sitting here. A little bit as I shake you around. I've probably been here half an hour. Watching that, catching up on YouTube. You know, catching up with the world at the moment. It was beside the tree. Now it's halfway from there up, so get that done before I gotta go with Becky. She thinks we're gonna, well, she says we are. Okay. We're going into Portland, the edge of it though, down on Highway 30 to a outfit that has flooring. She keeps changing her mind on what she's doing in the trailer, and I keep telling her, you've already got this flooring, you already paid for it, it's already here. But then she decided to do even more area, so she wants to get some different flooring for that. But basically the whole frickin' thing's getting redone. It's like, really? It's gonna be a pain in the ass. And I really don't feel like getting down on my hands and knees to lay floor. And the worst thing is she won't cut it, so I have to cut it. And I have to get down on my hands and knees and figure out how it needs to be cut. Y'all know. She gets the project and I get to do it. So anyway, that sucker gets in, I can move it. Get some things done today, hopefully, other than just going to town. And I'll bring you back for something at some point. Going to town. Was going to be Portland, but yeah. Becky's brother deals with an outfit that's much closer. And he says, yeah, go ahead and use my contractor discount there. So that's what we're going to see about doing. Get some flooring. Don't need a hell of a lot anyway. It's like it almost ain't worth the extra drive to Portland unless there isn't anything else around. And I was going to show you. Trees are in the way now, but it's a little smoky out today.
Anybody wants to live close to us, we got a house for sale right here.
Oh yeah, anybody wants to move over this direction. The place right here on the right with the oak tree, and there's a building here on pillars because that way it wasn't a permanent structure, and yeah, that place there is for sale.
If you want to be my neighbor,
you can have those critters next to you. Oh well. Anyway, so we're gonna go see what we can find for flooring. Number one's getting a bunch of chaff cleaned up. In fact, she really got on it this morning. She was like 3/4 done before we left. Surprised me. Quite a bit to move, but she's still getting it done quick. She got lucky in the big bale barn. She was able to just go ahead and scoop it without catching the plastic, and now she's to the point where she's just doing the cleanup in there. And then she's got that big pile in the front barn that I made the other day. So then she's going to be cleaning on equipment, doing a little pressure washing. And I told her, hey, there's enough hose and the pressure washers out. Why don't you give the Versatile a ha-ha bath? She can't do the whole thing because I got the plastic on top of the roof, but you know, she can at least clean it up enough. We can dink with it and see if we can get it fired up and running. And I got to get the brakes working before we put it back in. I'm sure it probably just an empty reservoir, put some in, and hopefully get it pumped back up. Oh, and hey, the county's going to be out painting roads again today. That's always nice when they're doing that. You go by and get your car painted for you. Or like usually happens to me, it's the trucks. It took me about 4 years to get all the yellow paint off the wheels of the pumpkin. Always nice of them. Especially when you meet them in a blind spot and you don't have a clue they're there, and they ain't going to slow down. You know, they just keep spraying your shit. So anyway, that's what we're doing this morning. There, now you can see how visibility really is over that way. That's east, by the way. Hey, look, we're in the north part of Hillsboro. All that's all part of Intel. I don't know how many freaking facilities they got around here now, but they're always building some billion-dollar project. And this whole area through here, I used to haul silage. I hauled silage off almost everything through here, as far as you can't see now. There's quite a few thousand acres that are all covered in mostly intel and supporting businesses. Yay. Oh, hey, and we can see some more of that haze to the west. That's a Coast Range right straight in front of us. Kind of hard to see it today. A whole 5 minutes of video before this, something like that anyway. I just wanted to show you something quick here. Hey there, says who's in charge and Department of Transportation. And it tells me all about this stuff, that follow the instructions on the permit, blah, blah, blah. Now, I can't tell you the date that this came. But what I can tell you is, when the hell did Cub Cadet make a truck that needs to be licensed? They send a temporary instead of sending us tags for that truck every single year. Okay, this has been laying around. Becky had it with some paperwork. My big thing is, I get a temporary for a Cub Cadet. We've been through this with them every single year. It is an International S1900 truck. Oh, see model SSE. I have no idea about that. So if I put the temporary in it, technically it's illegal because it's not for that truck. Even if it has the right VIN number, it's wrong description. And then they'll say it's wrong. Went through that on that truck sitting right there once, because they threw the wrong description. They said that was a flatbed truck. Had the right VIN number, had the right weight rating, all that stuff, but it said it was a flatbed. It's not, it's a tractor. So anyway, I just thought I'd tell you how smart they are. They still send it wrong. Yet the tags are, number one, just set the tags in there on the seat. And the registration with the tags are correct. But they always, and the other thing is, the temporary usually comes about 5 or 6 days after we get the tags. Yeah, make you wonder about stuff. And yeah, this thing's still sitting here. I didn't get to that yet. And she's waving. Bye. She's tired, she's whooped, she's soaked from the inside and the outside. Trying to rearrange stuff so we can do things. Really want to get this screwing with the versatile a little bit and get it to fire up, because without power to the steering, I'm not going to turn it. I rearranged the mess in here. Cherry pickers over by the pressure washer cleaned up. So we're going to use that hopefully soon in the shop. And lack anywhere else to put stuff. That's parts for the versatile. That's some parts for the dead skid steer. That's some miscellaneous stuff under there, and the 2 dead bikes are over here now. And while I was out and about, since it's such a short video, let me show you some more. Oh yeah, I think these totes are going to get pressure washed. We got something in there a couple years ago that's kind of sticky, and still don't know what happened, but a little bit of wet grain or what. So we've had trouble with that. I'm going to have her pressure wash that tomorrow. Oh, speaking of versatile, yeah, it's still sitting there. I think she's going to run over it with the pressure washer too, but she hasn't got that far. But the old cherry picker, it's nice and clean. It's all scraps, by the way. The base pieces are Chevy pickup rear suspension from the 60s. And the rest is just exactly that, scrap thrown together. But I thought, floor mats, good place to clean them because they're not in the dirt. I thought while I was out here, most of you haven't seen the inside of this much, and I'm going to guess that she stepped in the grease and then stepped up here. Have to bring that to her attention. Air ride seat, it actually leans too far that way even though it's blocked this way. Part of this because the machine lays that way quite a ways. I need to space it up a little more, help my back out better. That's out of a 1960 something, I think it was a Rio concrete truck. Steering, that's out of a 92 Massey Harris combine, if I recall correctly. Oh, and there's no air in the seat, so I'm sitting down here like a Peterbilt driver. Main valve is off an old Allied loader. This valve we bought new. Main boom, jib boom, grab and rotate. And steering column over there is the original 1953 Chevy C50 in its original location on the frame. Obviously different spot here. Oh, and there was my fancy editing tool. How will you get to see me again? And my air conditioner. That's 90% of it. When this had juice brakes on it, see if I can find it from here. That hole in the floor had a diverter valve. Had two different master cylinders on here, one for running from this seat, one for running from that seat. One would leak once in a while, so you'd reach down and shift it, set the brakes on the one side, then shift it back so it transferred to the other side, so you had some. And this valve is for the steering. Position it's in is closed, so these lines are separate. So when you steer it from here, it will turn. For on the road, put it there. This now does nothing. Oil just passes through, doesn't screw with the steering. And that's still a regular steering box, so it always turns if the front end turns. And that's 90% of it, I guess. We built this the winter of '85. And I can set on top of a 20-foot stack, just barely. Unless I'm in our barn, pointed downhill, and then that cuts it down a ways. Original cylinders there, those are not the original, that's the third set. The original ones there were the lift cylinders off the Allied loader that valve came off of. That set was the second set. No, we had this set rebuilt. Had them made, and the rods weren't quite big enough. When they're straightened out, we were kinking rods. And that cylinder right there goes up that window. The main lift cylinder, that was surplus from a veneer manufacturing company. They're oddball metric fittings in them, but those are standard fittings that are actually in it. They fit, they work well enough. They're original. Rear end in it now has air brakes on it. It says Ford on it, but Rockwell probably made it. That way we got air brakes. And we get by without having to have a valve in the floor like we used to have, because there's just a mechanical shuttle valve. Whether you push this pedal or the pedal on the other side, whichever one you push, the shuttle shifts over, and that's the way the air goes. So, oh yeah, and we got a heater. That heater used to really get used a lot, because this thing, we used to unload at almost every dairy in the county, plus a few. Dad had it as far as 70 miles away. I don't like driving it very far on the road, but we used to do it. And the grapple, I think we built in '82. Used to have it on a loader like Maury's is set up. And when we made it, originally it was rigid, then we made it so it rotated. And when we had it on the loader, we chain drove it with a jack shaft, and when you stopped the motor and there was much weight on it, it was spinning, it just tear the jack shaft assembly off. That's why we went to a belt. And if I'm in the barn and you bump a pole or you bump the stack, it can still turn. It either slip on the belt or it'll turn the motor, it doesn't matter. But there's your tour of it. Small block Chevy, turbo 400 transmission, block Chevy's pretty well wore out. I mean, it wasn't a new motor in '85, it was a junkyard motor then. And the weird thing is, the tranny, after getting rebuilt again, it just does not like to move. But once it gets hot, like especially on a hot day, like those 100-degree days we had, this thing actually moved the best. Too hot to be in it, but the oil would get hot enough that it'd work, and I'm just not sure why. You know, some things don't make sense. Anyway, took number one so long with her cleaning stuff up today. Cleaning her trough up. It was pretty bad. She said there was about 2 inches of crud in the bottom of it. But looky there. She tried counting them when she took them out. She said there was 18 or 20, and I said, well, there was 20 to begin with. We've lost 2, there should be 18. And she tried telling me that number 2 said she bought 24. Well, no, she got however many they give her. And I just counted 17. I don't know how many you can count. Counted 17 twice, so if she counted 18, she threw one away. I still count 17. Other fish we've had in the past, sometimes they'll like to get up underneath the floats and they'll hide up here. And, you know, maybe there's one hiding there. I don't know. Haven't tried. Oh, now I count 18. Okay. So there's 18. So they should be happy for a little while. Cows eat their grain in the morning and they come out here and they all take a drink and they leave a half a mouthful in here. It adds up quick, and these poor little guys just cannot eat it that quick. So, got a lot of this crap in here. The top of these plastic tanks around here, inside is not sealed. So, crap gets in there, it can't get out. When you clean it up, you can't get it out, no matter what you do. So, anyway, okay, that's more than enough video, right? Catch you some more cows. A little hazy up there, not as bad as it was when we went to town earlier. And eventually we'll show you that new flooring. It should be in about a week. Then apparently I get to put it in, so she wants it all done before it gets crappy out. So, oh yeah, and I was telling you about tweaking these things. These were clear over here and tweaked it back over where it belongs. Worked a lot better picking those bales up. That one still needs to get tweaked. I'd probably explain why I was missing that bale more often, because that one's tweaked in the middle. But it is what it is. She works. So with that, thank you for watching.